Just put in a new gas tank in here. Got this thing worked out, hopefully. Put an in-tank fuel pump in there. Runs right along the side here, up above. You see how I got it going right here and right into the sniper. I had a bunch of issues with this thing on that 5th day, actually all week during fall color tours, but especially on that 5th day. It got a little hotter that day than the other days, and my stock gas tank with the EFI Sniper 2 did not like it. There was a lot of aeration going on. There's a lot of air. There's a lot of air getting sucked into the lines. There's all the sloshing around, which meant I needed baffles inside of the gas tank. There was heat, a lot of heat down there underneath, around the frame rails. There's the muffler right there, and there's not a whole lot of room to get around. I wrapped it. It brought it down some, but it's still vapor locked. I was battling, a whole lot of issues, aeration that gets in there, those little molecules, they're microscopic and they're running through there and they slush around, they become bigger, and with the EFI, it doesn't like it, so these injectors just wasn't firing and it would just shut down on me. It was a real big pain in the buttocks over there on that 5th and final day. It wasn't a hard ride, but it was definitely hard because I kept breaking down. I wasn't the only one, so I didn't feel as bad as I would have, because there was a lot of breakage that day, a lot of vapor locks and whatnot. But so the original gas tank that I had in there, I was feeding out the bottom. You'd have a supply, and I would feed it right up through here, and I had it coming through like that, and it was getting hot. They call this a firewall for a reason. And that was probably my main issue right there. I think if I would have brought the line out like this or something like that, I probably would have had a better chance. But still, I still had that problem of aeration. Once you get on the trail, you start doing this and that, it creates a lot of kinetic energy in there, and a lot of those gas bubbles start bubbling up, and at altitude they expand. And there's another issue I had here with venting. These gas tanks are vented through the gas cap, but not for Sniper 2. It's not good enough. So I ran a line here, rollover vent tube. You can see how I went in there into the gas tank. That's properly vented now. This whole setup is a lot happier now. The whole issue I had was not the Sniper, it was the fuel delivery. So would have made everything easier instead of using the stock gas tank if I would just put a fuel cell back here. Had a fuel cell back here, everything would have been just, hunky-dory. The other issue I had too was the idle was way too high, and it was creating more heat than it should have been. That's another issue I had with vapor lock, of creating too much heat. Took it back to Toby Advanced Engine Dynamics in Corona, California, and he put it on the computer for like 3 minutes, brought it down, we reconfirmed the timing, brought down the idle on the computer here in the handheld, and we're back down running 750 right now, and it's very, 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 very happy. So how did I do this? So I bought another gas tank because I didn't want to start cutting and welding on the used one. I already had gas in it. So I pulled it out, used it for another project up the road. And then I brought a new one off the internet. And what I did is I cut it open like a can, exposed the inside. I also need to cut this up, peel that cap, and look inside, see what we got. I know I need some baffles, so I need to figure out in my head what we're gonna do. In order to do that, I need to cut the top off, or at least a big portion of it, and take a look inside. Cut that piece out, and that's what we got inside. Your return. There's your baffle. All right. So baffle looks good. I need to do something similar right here. Probably bring one up from here, and then another one on this side. There and there. Put two baffles in. Probably have to cut this off because I'm going to put an in-tank pump. Pushing limits. This is only six inches tall. So, you ever seen inside of a tank? That's what it looks like. So this small one here, that's this. And the drain hole is down there. So I'm using this one as my supply pressure line, and then this one as my return. And it's not doing the job like it's supposed to. Having like fuel starvation, and then midday I'm getting like heat and air, so this thing ain't venting right. It vents good for a carburetor, but not for what we're doing. We just tested that out in Colorado, so we gotta make some changes. TIG welder's all buried. I'm just gonna zap it real quick with my MIG. Fix the pinholes and call it good and get that thing in there one day. Whammy shawammies. This is a brand new tank, by the way. I'm gonna pull that one. Then once we get that one in here, it's gonna stick up. I think that the pump fittings are gonna stick up. I don't know if I'm gonna have to hack up my seat. It's perfect where it's at right now, but we'll see what happens. There's nothing else I can do. I need that thing to work, for the EFI to work. And where I got the lines at right now are pretty dang good. I thought pretty good, but yeah, my pressure line and my return line comes in a nice loop, comes back down, but it's not venting. It's starving for air. I'll be bouncing around. Harder the trail, the more this breaks down. Well, not break down, the EFI sucks air and stops us dead in our tracks. So that's our problem right now. I'm not running out of gas on the trail. I have 5 extra gallons, so that's not our issue. The issue is the pickup and return and venting. I think venting has a lot to do with the heat. As midday rolls around, 80, 85 degree heat in Colorado at altitude, it wasn't venting correctly, and we were starving for air. Got a little air pocket, and that was it. It was over. Then I had to shut it down. I had to wait a few minutes for the air to dissipate and equalize, and then it fired right back up again, and off we went. And it kept doing that, doom, 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 over and over again. So it's got to be the fuel. Get this going and test her out. All right, so I ordered this tank, and you see me yesterday evening. I cut this hole in it. I just wanted to see what was in here. I wanted to make sure this was, my plan was gonna work. I also bought these tanks, inline or in tank fuel pump. That you gotta put it together. I'm still trying to check it out. It's called Tanks PA2. I don't know if it's good or not. It looks pretty solid. Looks like it's gonna work for what we need it to. I bought it because I saw a YouTube video on it, so that's why I ended up buying it. So what we're gonna do today is fit this thing in there. I got only 6 inches of travel from here to there, so I cut 6 inches out the back there and fit it on. You can go higher or lower. Gonna fit that in there. And fit that in there. Before I do that, I'm going to build some baffles. I already got one here, which is good. I'm just going to put another one here and another one on the back side. And I'm going to cut this thing off. But yeah, we're going to build us another baffle here, another one here. And I got this little tray that comes with it. So hopefully we'll stop that fuel starvation and keep that fuel cool and it won't vaporize. So I just grinded this top piece off, or took the paint off or the powder coating off so I can weld best I could do it. And I also cut off this little spigot here, because we don't need that. So we're going all the way on this one. We ain't coming back. Yeah, trying to get all this stuff vacuuming it up as I go, using towels, and just trying to keep it clean as I go along. Hopefully when I clean it out after final assembly, it would be nice, hopefully. But I gotta do what I gotta do. Go big or go home. I'm going all the way with this. Okay, cool. So next I'm gonna make my baffles right here. I'm gonna find some cardboard, cut out some cardboard. We're gonna weld them in. And I'm gonna do it similar to this. These have big holes, probably like 3/4 inch holes here. Probably gonna go smaller. Yeah. Let's see what I come up with. Okay, cool. So I got all my cardboard pieces cut out. One side baffle right there. I just cut the edges off. Put a couple holes. They're not exact on the sides there, but that's okay. We want gas to cycle in and out as needed. Did the same thing here. It's just to slow it down, because this has already got a pan in it, so it's gonna sit just like that with that pan in there. And then you can see where my metal is gonna overhang there, which is gonna make it a little bit easier welding instead of butt welding it. And hopefully I only have a little bit of pinholes and not a whole lot of pinholes. So when I weld it, it's gonna go on like this, right there. And I already made that whole piece, because this is gonna get welded underneath this piece over there, because this screws on to there. Then this simply just goes down and fits nicely. Okay, and that's how it's gonna be. And it's even labeled supply line, return line, and the vent. I'm waiting on a 90 degrees. I'm gonna point this that way, or even around here like this, and this will be on the outside here. And then these two are gonna run this way towards the front of the vehicle. These are locking nuts right here for your electrical fuel pump that's inside the tank now. And these will come straight out here, and then I'll tap into those and we should be good to go. And it gets me through everything I'm about to put it through. So I'm gonna put this thing this next year, the Moab a couple times, Colorado, Big Bear. I'm gonna do it pretty good this year, because I think it's gonna be okay. So once we get this hooked up and we have no more fuel supply issues or heat issues for vapor lock, then that'll just put it on the tune. After I get the tune down, then we should have a good to go Jeep. Fingers crossed. So what I'm gonna do right now, take this off and weld all this up. I should have a few pinholes right here. Like I said, I've been cleaning, vacuuming with acetone here, wiping it down constantly, trying to minimize any debris in there. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and cut these out, pieces out, and we'll weld them up. Gonna clean that up, clean those up, and start fitting them up to that. Make sure that they fit, and then we'll go ahead and zap them in. This turned out to be cool. I like it. Right there. Just like that. There's our thing. We gotta just tighten it all down. Put that over there. Here's our marks. This thing's gonna get welded in on the back side. So when our pump goes in, we screw right into there. There you can see my baffles here, ready to be welded in. This side as well. Looks like that. But yeah, we're ready to go. Let's start welding now. Get rocking. So I'm about to start welding. Got the ground hooked up on my handy dandy MIG welder. This is metal, so the only thing I used is pieces of sheet metal that I made to fit here. Now this is a brand new tank, okay? Never been used, no gasoline inside it ever. So I guess you'd probably put water or exhaust tube or something like that inside here if you were using a used one, but I'd rather not. I just grabbed a new one to destroy and welding on that. I welded this thing up that way it's not vibrating down there and less chance for that bolt to come out when I'm in the rocks. Yeah, and then after I drill those holes out, I'm gonna line these up, holes, and then I'm gonna weld that on there, zap it on with the holes. Weld that top plate on there, and then we will wash it out, and then we'll test for holes. I'm guaranteed to have some holes up here with some soap, put some air through here, and see where my bubbles are, and then we'll go from there. Oh yeah, also I'm gonna weld in these little bung holes right here. Probably put one up here and another one down there. And you can see here's that line, the fuel line to the 90s. You'll be able to see it right here. So it's better than, for me, I think. I thought it was genius. I saw Turn and Burn in his videos, he had them. And Brandon, the last time I went to Moab, he had them. And I thought that was genius. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it myself. Found these on eBay. Gas tank sight gauge. And I never have the the gauge plugged in anyways because I could never get it to work very good. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Always fooling with it. Forget it now. I'll just do one of these. Weld these in there. I think they go like that. A couple holes, weld them in, and that's a quick and easy way to see what your fuel gauge is. Okay, so I got one pinhole there, a pinhole there, and a pinhole there so far. Let me show you. That's pretty good, only 3 so far. There, there. I think it's this guy right here. Let's try it again. Yeah, right here. A tiny one right here. Yeah, big one's over here. Here I think it's tape. Yeah, it's from the tape. And then down here in my bung holes, nothing's coming. I don't know what's up with that. Nothing. Cool. So I got 3 holes to fill. Alright, just test this whole thing up with some air. No leaks on the bung holes. No leaks around here. There was one there and one there. And one over here. I fixed them. Underneath this bracket it was leaking back here. So I welded all the way around there, fixed all that. Retested it, tested it like 5-6 different times, different types of deal. I put, stuff inside there, try to make this thing come out. Nothing was coming out of there. All around the hole, the backside where I welded the baffles, check those. The side ones, nothing. This thing's ready. As far as slides right on in there, and that thing's ready to rock and roll. I have my lines coming right across there and go towards the front through the firewall. Not exactly sure yet, but something like that. Waiting for a fit in. I still got to clean all this on the inside. I try to do the best job as I could, but you know how that goes. Cleaning out this gas tank right now, getting all these particles out of here. That's going to be the hardest part of this whole thing. I put some magnets down there. You can see them. They're picking up some of the debris. We're going to have to painstakingly put some gas in there, swirl it around, take out the screw, let it drain, and then repeat the process. And pull these out one by one, clean them, put them back, and over again until it all comes out clean. Yep. Some fun. Got fuel in it right now. It's almost clean all the way. Good time to check my weld points here, recheck them. Put this on its side, see if there's any leaks. Have this here on the bottom here, there's no leaks. No leaks. We already tested it, but just want to continue checking it. Just continue to check it. Cool. hooked up. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this. This is the breather here, the vent. We'll figure that out. Got my supply line going in, return line coming out, and power. And I put it up there. Put some paint, fresh paint on there. Try to make it look. Trying to make it look inconspicuous. Trying to make it stealth mode, you know. As soon as the seat's on, from this angle, you probably wouldn't even notice. Go around this way, you'll probably notice barely, but the seat's gonna be there. So like that. Going in this way. Before I had them going in over here. See how it starts. Only issue is that. You see that? I'm getting about 85 PSI right there.
1 week later.
All right, got it all hooked up. My supply and return line. Got this hooked up, got that capped off. Took the seat off so I could show you a little bit better. My supply line, return line. Going into hard lines here. Going up underneath the dash. Into the firewall. Got some firewall fittings in there, and I put a 1/2 inch lock washer on each one just to make it a little bit better. And then I got it coming in to this Corvette style. I got an issue here. Let's figure that out. But it starts right up. We got 60. It doesn't leak when it's on. It's got pressure. Sweet. Got a little bit more than 60, but that's acceptable. Like that. Cap is on. You see where I boxed it in right there? I had to cut that area out, and to make it strong again, I went ahead and put that little plate there and welded it in. Freehanded a couple holes with my plasma, but made that thing strong. Stronger than it's ever been. I vented it really well. Let it right under here. Here's my vent. I welded that the washer, tacked it in. So it goes like that, right underneath my seat. I always have bags back here, so that thing, hopefully no one even notices it. And it's vented away back here with this thing, so we won't get us any gas inside the cab. All right. I do some research on this right now.
1 week later.
All right, so I went ahead and changed this out. This one just didn't give me confidence at first look. It was only held in by one bolt right here, and I was getting a lot of play there. The other issue that I found was this thing right here. It moves a little, and with that and the places that I take this Jeep, this was going to become a problem. This was going to break loose or pop off. Massive leak. So this one doesn't hook up as cleanly because this one has the 2 lines coming in, 2 lines, and that's how I kind of engineered this to be. But we're going with plan B now. This is going to hook up onto there with a nice bracket with 2 bolts. I just went running around town looking for fittings, and I couldn't find either 90 here and another 90 there. That'll put it like this, and this will be cleaning up that piece, and it'll go 90 here, and it's one big piece like that. Made by Holley. What is it, 10? I don't have my glasses. 1080H6. I'll put it on the description. This is awesome, but you can see how it's already moving. So I was already planning on making another strap weld onto there, so it'll have two points on there so it wouldn't move. But then I was just looking at this and I just kept touching it, and over time this is just gonna break free or something, especially the way I have it here. The way we are hooked up here, I couldn't put this on the fuel rail where it doesn't have 0 vibration. It's gonna be here, and this is gonna take some abuse. With this, I got a good bracket here. I don't know how to manufacture anything. I just need 2 90s, and it should look pretty clean. There's options here. There's a what is that, a 1/8 NPT fitting, so I could move that here if I wanted to, but I don't think so. I'm gonna put this flat like that against here with a 90 coming back and shorten this line, and then it's gonna be a 90 straight shot back here, and it'll be secure. And it does the same thing this thing does. Let me turn it on. See, up a little bit past 60. I think I'm gonna go with this one just because it's a little bit stronger and more robust. Less things bouncing around, less fittings, less points that I have to break on a trail. This thing's gonna go to Moab here this next Easter Jeep Safari, and I want this thing ready to rock and roll. So I gotta order some 90s, and then I'll get back with you guys. All right, so it's the next weekend. Went ahead and plumbed this the way I think it should go. I got a 90 here and a 90 there. Well, I got this thing, it's backwards, so this should usually goes down, and then that regulator piece up here goes on top. And then there's a fitting for this on the side here that I could actually put it there if I wanted to, but I like this one easier because I'm a one-man show, and when I'm turning the key, I could stick my face over here and be able to check it out. So I'm gonna turn the key right now. Oops. I was supposed to let it prime, but I just clicked it. So that's what we got right now. Still have my hoses coming up here, going up that way. I could have put that right here, but there's no room, and I'm kind of a big guy, so I decided against it. I'll just leave it up there on the top. Flowing out through the tops. You got your supply and your return. I got the wiring here, and I put it through here, and you can see I had to cut this piece out right here, just to fit my lines in there a little bit more cleanly. and feed it up through to the firewall. Oh yeah, and then on this piece right here, to make it bring back the strength, I went ahead and boxed it in with this piece of plate right here. Put that in there. Some clean connections here, a firewall connectors, bringing in my supply. The other issue that I had here is that in-tank pump was pumping about 100, about 90 or 100 psi. It's a little bit too high for the Sniper 2. It has an internal pump, but I wanted to see it, you know, right at, you know, 58.5. I got this at 60. These are pre-designated at 60. This is a Holley 12886 fuel regulator, and it comes in here and supply, pressurizes it at 60, sends 60 to the EFI, and the rest gets returned back to the tank. And you got it going on right here. So you bring it through here, come on here, and then you just cap it. This is still intact. I didn't do anything with it. This still works. If I ever wanted to go back and do it the regular way, you can do that too. But I just didn't want, I read on the internet that these are small pieces and that they fail sometimes, and I didn't want that failing on the trail. So I didn't want to put 100 psi through here, put a whole lot of load on this regulator. So I just went ahead and put one here, and I love this setup. I think it's outstanding. You don't have to do it like this. If you get a Sniper 2 EFI, a fuel cell would be a lot easier. But you know, for me personal, you know, I wanted to try to stealth out this whole system, you know, all the way, you know, so I didn't, at first glance, everybody thinks, you know, it's just a stock CJ2A, but in reality, I got it, you know, a little bit souped up. So just personal preference. Let's see here. Yeah, the seat, it fit under there perfectly fine. I had to lift up the seat 1/2 inch to give me clearance, otherwise your bungholios right there is hitting on top of that PA2. It doesn't, you know, not too comfortable ride, but once I put it up 1/2 inch, it worked out good for me. But on a stock seat frame, you ain't gonna have any issues because it's gonna be up like that. You can see on my other Jeep right now, I'm gonna bring to you, my other Jeep, I have this seat completely modified, and I have it dropped and set all the way back, and I had to make all kinds of configurations to try to make that, you know, stay where I wanted it to. But on a stock seat, it'll bolt right in, and then you should be fine. Other thing I did too is I put a little gas meter right here. That thing is worth its weight in gold right there. I love that thing. I can keep track of my gas better right there. The only issue I have right there is probably not a good spot. It's perfect if you're outside the vehicle and you look right in, which is, you know, it's good to go. I'm not going to change it or anything like that. But when you're driving, you're trying to look down here, your leg's in the way. So it's kind of hard. And then the angle here, if you do get a look on it, you're looking at it like this. So it's linear down and you can't see the tube. So on my other Jeep, I put it here. So it's going flat. So you look right between your legs and you can see it. Another good spot would probably be right here, because right here I'm not worried about. I'm worried about it now if I kick it with my feet. So that's one issue. But if you put it here linear, I think that might be a good spot too. But either way, I'm pretty happy with this thing. I mean, it's perfect, because you can't rely on that fuel gauge from you know where, made from you know where, that goes into this tank. They just never work. And I spent time and many a weekends trying to get that thing to work, and it's never good. So screw that thing. I put that in there, never have to worry about that stuff ever again. Yeah. Let it prime. Starts up. Real happy with this. Yeah, the only thing left to do is test it. Yeah, got a good vent going on. Got my supply and return going inside the tank, keeping that fuel nice and cool. I put baffles in there to slow down all the bubbles that are getting sloshed around in there. Comes up on top of the vehicle. There's no exhaust anywhere around there. It's not heating up the fuel at all. The only point it gets hot is be right here, but we got airflow coming through here, and hopefully that cools it down. Yeah, so that's what we got. Let me show you my big Jeep, my other Jeep. I did the same exact thing, except I did it with AN fittings. Here's the big Jeep, my big Jeep Baboy. Got the same setup as Slumdog. Only difference is this is a 225 V6 Buick, and Slumdog is a 231 V6 Buick. So this has a smaller carburetor 2G, and Slumdog has the 2GC Sniper. So this is a 2G Sniper. Same thing, everything's the same. I did the same thing to this one as far as the in-tank pump. You can see where I moved the gas meter here in the middle so I can look down and actually see it. So, food for thought. See what else? Yeah, I took out the old gas tank. This is a new one I got from the internet. I went ahead and put that PA2 tank inside here. Ran my lines of AN fittings all the way through. You can see where I cut out this wall here, this body structure, cut it out, and then I ran the lines behind it, and then the way to make sure that structure had strength, I put in that plate. So I re-welded a plate on top. It's stronger than it's ever been. Ran it through exactly how I did the other one, but this was AN fittings through the bulkhead fittings here. See, I ran my supply line through here, back over here to my regulator, a 12-8H6 Holley. It regulates at 60. I ran it through to my supply side, and I capped off the return side because it returns right here, back down in, back inside here. Got my everything's set up right here. On this particular Jeep, I should have cut out more in the back here, but I didn't. I just left it. Miscalculated. Not like I did on Slumdog. I took a big old chunk out of there. But on that one, I took out the least amount possible, and then I dropped it, and then put it back to as much as I could, which meant that these lines right here were not going to fit because it's all the way on the tank. So I just clearanced this out, boxed that in. I didn't even clean up the welds or anything, just slapped it back in, and away I went. So that's old Baboy. I've been driving this thing around. Everything seems to be good so far. Of course, you know, you never know. But yeah, that's how we got our tanks set up. Hopefully that stops all that issues I had up in elevation at 12,000 feet. What we need to do now is just go back to Colorado and redo all those trails up at altitude. But I can't replicate that. I'm over here in Southern California, so we're just gonna drive the hell out of these things until Fall Color Tours comes back again and have to redeem ourselves. Yep, so we're good to go with Slumdog as of now. All we need to do now is to test it. we just got back messing around all day today, probably about a good 4 or 5 hours. The gas is on empty. Full tank of gas out there, not one issue with fuel delivery. This thing worked perfectly fine. The only thing I couldn't replicate was the elevation. But this thing, it was, I think we got it. Working out pretty good. But this setup is the setup I think is working. Absolutely no issues. This didn't get hot, no vapor lock. The cap on this side worked fine. Yeah, I was just very happy. Everything was very happy. And I am happy that we got this thing worked out. Thanks for watching.